Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And no, I cannot do the Oracle of the Mid-South and without further ado, but we'll do it anyway. Good to have John Gordon in the studio with us this morning on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning, the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. And we got another guest in the studio. As I said, he brought his bodyguard with him over there. Not that he needed a bodyguard. I probably need a bodyguard more than him. Jake Yoes. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Tell us who you brought with you, Jake.
Well, I got my son, Luke Yoes. He's 9 years old, and looking at him, he's got my genes, so he will be a bodyguard one day, maybe.
Well, that depends on what kind of jeans. He sure ain't wearing your jeans right now, okay?
No, he don't have those jeans on.
No, not
yet,
those kind of jeans or anything.
I tell you, he's growing so fast, though, we've got to keep pumping out them clothes at him.
That's good. Well, you'll have a chance Saturday,
That's right.
on April the 1st, to pump out some clothes for him. So Jake, tell our listeners your capacity. What do you do for TWRA?
I'm a wildlife officer. I've been a wildlife officer for right at 18 years. I started here in Shelby, and then now I'm in Tipton County. Been there for 15 years, I believe. And
that doesn't seem possible.
And yeah, it's been a long time. Time flies with this job.
You cut your teeth here, though.
I did cut my teeth in Shelby, yeah. I love Shelby, but I was kind of glad to get out of it and go up north to Tipton.
And you live in Munford?
I live in Brighton.
Oh, Brighton, yeah. Okay. All right, we got a big event coming up on April the 1st at Hey Dad's on 60 – I can't even read my own right now. Krieger Street.
Yeah, it's 69 Krieger Street there in Munford. If you're from Tipton County, everybody knows where Hey Dad's is.
They sure do. And if you're not from Munford in Tipton County, you still know where it is.
Yeah, you still know where it is.
David and them, but you got a deer rally. Now, when you say that, people out there saying they're bringing what? They got a deer rally? Is it like a roundup or something?
Yeah,
Everybody's
people think we're
bringing in their deer?
Yeah, we're hooping and hollering for them, but no.
So what is it?
Deer rally this is probably the 10th year, I believe, we've done this in Tipton County. But folks that have harvested a deer either this past year, or we'll take deer that have never been officially scored by anybody that's official.
Yes.
And we will score it for them. And our goal is to get them in the Tennessee TWRA, the state registry books. But I will have Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young certified scorers there to score, and hopefully we get them in that book. And at least one a year, I believe, we've had made Pope and Young or Boone and Crockett.
So how many do you think deer will you score?
We average probably 30 or 40 deer a rally. Yes. Yeah. And I know with the CWD going on, people down in Fayette and that said that they're worried about the big deer. This year, I was amazed at the amount of big deer that was killed. I'd go to the
in where?
In
Weston,
a lot in Tipton County, a lot in Shelby County.
Yeah.
I'd go to my local deer processors, and it'd be unbelievable the amount of big trophy deer that would be there.
Well, we killed over 160,000 or something like that. Yeah. So yes, we know what CWD is, chronic wasting disease. We talked so much about it, and one of my sponsors is Pipe Dream. My good folks, Dave and all the gang out there at Dave's Deer Processing in Mason or Galloway. Down
there in Galloway.
Yeah. But the people might not understand, what do you mean by scoring? What are we doing here?
Yeah, we see.
Now, John and I know about this because John's killed so many big deer.
Yeah,
I have not.
See, deer.
You're too honest.
Deer, you can be put into a class by total inches. So when we score a deer, we measure the rack. We measure the inside beam, the length, the tines, and that'll give you a final score. And it's a pretty good process.
So you have official scores. These guys, are they TWRA guys?
Yeah, all the ones we have there are TWRA employees. Some of them have gone off to a week-long Boone and Crockett or Pope and Young. I mean, it's extensive.
It is extensive.
It's not just a one-day deal. They're there for a week learning how to score these deer, elk, or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're just scoring the deer at this one. The only rules we have is it has to be legally killed in Tennessee, we don't score other states' deer.
Okay.
It has to be legally killed in Tennessee and has to have dried for, I believe, 60 days. But we put this off to where it had to have been dried for 60 days.
Yeah. And then, again, scoring-wise, what's one of the biggest you've ever – can you remember?
I scored one in the 190s one time.
Really?
And it blew my mind. Scored several in the 170s at this deer rally.
Yeah.
You start getting up in the 150s above, you really got something going on. We found I was rabbit hunting one time, and we found a deadhead, and it ended up being right at 180 something.
Woo.
So I hate to see them go like that, but I mean it was neat to be able to score this deer, be in the 180s.
Well, I know that I've taken one deer to one rally. The deer I killed at Ames Plantation several years ago, what I call the 11-15 deer, because Alan Houston was supposed to pick me up at 9:30, and I was still in the stand at 11, and I was trapped there. And at 11:15, this monster buck walked out, and I killed it, and I think it scored 140, something like that.
That's good.
But when I took my deer, and I won't mention the wildlife officers, but they put me between a 160 and a 180.
Yeah.
So my deer became very small all of a sudden. But there will be some monster deer up there.
Oh,
so you want them to bring you deer, but at the same time, this is an event. I mean, social gathering, you get the chance to see some deer.
Oh, yeah. Lord, yeah, you can come out and talk with us. It's going to be probably 10 or 15 of us there.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a deer to score, come out. There's going to be, I believe, a crawfish truck there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It turns into a pretty big event.
And it's from 10 to 4. 10 to 2.
10 to 2, yes, sir.
At Hey Dad's, and I'm sure David will have some special going on, probably.
David and Elliot and them, they've already put out a Facebook post on theirs with all the deals they're going to be having. So, yeah.
Folks, this is going to be a great event. Doesn't cost anything.
It's free. No,
it's free.
It is free to get your deer scored.
And it doesn't take – how long does it take to score a deer?
The big ones, the ones that I don't like doing are the non-typicals, and I always push them off to the Boone and Crockett guys because it might take 30 to 45 minutes a deer. Especially if you're getting into those categories, you want to be precise as you can be. The mainframe 8s and 10s that can go up to 140s, we can get them done in 10, 15 minutes.
It didn't take long to do mine. But
I like the mainframes. That's the ones I like to score.
Yeah, well, the non-typicals, if you don't know what that is, folks, it's non-typical.
Yeah, it's non-typical.
It doesn't look like a real deer antler thing. And a lot of folks don't realize that, I know we kill a lot of deer in Fayette, Hardeman, and we were in the hotbed of the CWD, but at the same time, a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to deer hunt this year. I'm not going to do all that kind of stuff like that. And then the wild game dinners are actually coming back. I went to one a couple of weeks ago, and folks are saying, well, I'm going to go back, and eat my deer and see some of these things. But the opportunity here, so just bring your deer in. You have to have any kind of something that tells you that's your deer.
Well, a lot of people bring other friends' deers. We just need to know the confirmation number. Yeah, we want to know the confirmation number that it was killed in Tennessee.
Okay, all right.
And that and your address and all that, because if you do make the books, we'll need to know all that information, the date it was killed, stuff like that. But most people, when they kill a big deer, they know
I know my
second.
Date and everything. Yeah. It's been a while. It's in my office, and my wife won't let me put another one in there. But
I know the feeling.
Yeah, when it gets that in there, and I look up at him every morning, and actually got 2 of Bill Dance's caps hanging on the antlers, so I can look at that again. We're talking to Jake Yoes. He is a wildlife officer out of Tipton County, 15 years up at Tipton County, and started right here in Shelby County, where everybody ought to start here. Probably don't want to fish here.
You learn a lot here in Shelby, that's for sure.
Unless you're like Andy Tweed, you're here forever,
He's never going to leave.
Well, he will eventually. He will. So it's Saturday morning, today, 10 o'clock. So as soon as this show over, get on up there. You still got time to drive up to Munford and at Hey Dad's on Krieger.
69 Krieger Street.
All right, street. Don't call it Boulevard. I called it. One time I called, I called Buford Ellington Boulevard out at Ames Plantation, and they quickly said there is no boulevards at Ames Plantation. It's just a road or a street, but it's at Hey Dad's, and which is a great spot to visit. And he said there will be a food truck.
Yeah,
there?
that's Elliot said he's going to have the crawfish. They're there every year, and they usually sell out. So come out early if you want some.
How
crawfish.
many people do you think? How many?
The ones with the deer or without the deer, it's 1,000 or more.
I think it is. Yeah.
It's we get to see 1,000 people and talk to them.
Well, thank you, Jake, for stopping in with us this morning.
This
is the kind of stuff that we want. If you got any kind of event going on there, that's what we're here for. TWRA being one of our show sponsors, we want to publicize these events, just like that Green Wing event going in this morning up at the Camden Bottoms, up Camden Unit 1. And on April the 1st, that's April the 1st, Fool's Day. It's really for sure. I mean, don't bring any.
It's really going to happen.
Yeah, it's really going to happen. Don't bring any April Fool's deer in there, and everything like that. Thank you, Jake. So appreciate you bringing Luke in. He's experienced it on Saturday morning. Let's take a break. Then we're going to talk camo with the people who know camo a whole lot, and that's Stacy Walker from Prime One Camo on Outdoors Alert.